Thank you so much for staying with us on the program. It's not a good time for the Nigeria's economy, the economy of Africa's biggest economy and the most populous nation. The federal government had declared that the economy is in recession, but as the hardship bites harder, which way out? Well, earlier today, the Emir of Kano and the former CBN governor, Muhammadu Sanusi, talked about the issue of deregulation. Let's take a listen to what he had to say, and we jump into our discussion today.
I think that the building blocks have been put in place. What the government has done by fighting insecurity and fighting corruption provides an environment in which economic policy can thrive. And the recent steps that have been taken, deregulating the oil sector, liberalizing the foreign exchange market, meeting with economists and setting up a proper economic team suggests that there is now attention focused on real economic issues to be dealt with by experts. And I frankly am much more optimistic today than I've been in many years as far as the economy is concerned. We're going to go through difficult times. We're always bound to go through difficult times when oil price crashes and with all the mismanagement of the past. But I think right now we're finally about to turn a corner. But we have to work hard and we need to be realistic. Nobody should expect that overnight things are going to improve. Inflation will be with us for some time. A recession gets reversed gradually, but with the right fiscal stimulus and the right structural policies, we should hopefully get ourselves away from dependence on one sector, and that's critical.
Well, someone who has spent most of his active working experience in the private sector, in the banks, and of course, being a former director of a bank and now former CBN governor, you must respect his thoughts on the issues of economy. It won't be easy for us to get ourselves out of the recession, but again, where do we go from here? Joining me to discuss this issue is an economist and policy analyst, Joe Femi Dagunro, joins us on the program. Many thanks for coming on the program. Not a good sign, isn't it, when you hear that a nation is in economic recession? We probably would have found ourselves at some point in depression, and now we are here in recession. How bad is it, and does it look like we're going to get out anytime soon?
Well, when you say anytime soon, it's not anytime soon. You know, like the former CBN governor just said, that's the realistic position we are in. And we must begin to realize that being in a recession, we've been here before. We've been at this position. This country has gone through recession. This is not the first time, and we've been able to, get out of it. So there is not the problem now is that how do we get out of it? But we are going to get out of it. This is not the first time, and then we are not the first country that will go through this. I remember some in the 90s and some part of the 80s there was this economic recession in Asia, and at the same time lately in Europe as well. And then the people get out of it. And right now you can even see in Spain they are getting out of joblessness, and things are getting out better. Italy was bad as well. So this is not the first time, and I think now what we begin to see is that it is a good thing that we're beginning to, get together to understand our problems. This problem we know. When the VP met some of these Nigerian economists and to rob mines, this is a good idea. We don't necessarily.
It's a good idea.
It's a good idea. That's one thing. It is not always an issue that we have to expect Washington to tell us what to do and people to tell us from outside. We know the root cause of this problem, and when you're robbing mines with the people who are in need and who have gone through it several times, they will be able to advise accordingly. And that is the issue that the government is beginning to handle. But one thing that the Emir said is that we know this is the problem. We have to begin to let the citizens understand that this is not an issue of within the next 3 months, within the next 6 months. We cannot actually predict when are we going to get it, but we have to make sure that there's a curve. Like you said, well, this could be around the corner. There's a curve, and if there's a curve in it, we should be able to tell the people this is what we're doing and be transparent about some of these things. If we cut costs, if we make the people understand this is the problem on the table, like he rightly defended it. The most important thing, like I have always said, is this: when politicians are going in or they are campaigning, with this campaign audacity thing, they say so many things, not knowing the real problem that is going to come.
I was going to draw you there, Joe, on this issue of campaign promise, because, of course, you know, I won't take you on some of the technicalities of the economics of our problems, but I will look at what exactly Nigerians should be expecting from their political leaders, knowing full well that the APC came to say they are going to be a welfareist party. From all I know, and I can deduce from the philosophy of the APC, they look to me as a left of the center party. When you have a party without philosophy, is it a good time for us to see that party, a left of the center party, in this kind of situation that we are in, Joe?
You know, you have to begin to find that this is this political party, APC. There are two people, two political parties, or more than two political parties. They merge to form APC.
About four political
from different philosophy, ideas, and so you wouldn't know how far have they gone before even pronouncing this welfareism. You know, and I said it in one of these programs here. You cannot just promise and say, look, you're going to feed people, or you're going to give them this 5,000 naira and all that within the next period of time. And don't forget, Shehu, I keep saying it, the political audacity or the campaign audacity, they did not specify when are they going to start this program. There was no framework, there's no time. And if you look at it, it cannot be possible. Even in this year, it can't be possible. Maybe you are looking at about 2, 3, 4 years to come. It is not an easy thing to just look. I want to give, there's no database to compile all these things. The infrastructure is not there. And what are the modalities? So all these things have to be compiled. All the political guys have to do is just say the truth.
Does the government right now, government of the day and the APC, the party, look overwhelmed with what they found out? I've had opportunity to speak and interview some of the party leaders in the APC. It looks to me that they did not expect what they met on the ground when they got into government, and there was that shock for a long time.
I mean, sure, it happens. And the thing is that if you even get overwhelmed with this kind of political issues and going in there, not
the APC is overwhelmed.
Yes, definitely.
Are they?
Definitely. In my opinion, I think they are overwhelmed. But being overwhelmed doesn't mean that you cannot carry out your programs. It's just to find a way to really do those things. The first thing that we have to deal with is the economy. If the economy can be put back in shape, then you begin to see that being overwhelmed with providing good education, all those things, you know, the first thing people want to understand, when are the workers, government workers, begin to earn their regular salary? That is an issue that people want to know. When is it that the manufacturing sector will begin to, you know, work full time, 24 hours, or working in 3 shifts? People want to understand that. When will our roads be put right? When will this electricity? These problems are not the problem of APC. They didn't cause this problem. Let's not forget about it. But, you know, the government is an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing process. So you cannot say, because I didn't cause this problem, that's not my issue.
Because a lot of Nigerians, I mean, will hardly want to understand with the APC that they didn't cause the problem.
Right.
But they saw that the problem was there,
yes,
and they made those promises.
Yes, they have to make promises. I mean, you can't just...
that's where we're going to as a people now.
Yes.
Should you just talk because you just want to talk?
No.
Should you just make promises because you want to make promises?
No, really. But you see, you have to...
Or you just want to win election at all costs?
You have to understand politics. Politics is not just... You have to promise. You have to do things. You have to tell the people, this is what I will do when I get there. But when you get there and you are facing the reality, say, no, oh, I said I'm going to do this, but now the reality tells me that I can't achieve this within this period of time. I tell you what, most of the promises, no politician thinks about 4 years. Most politicians think about the 8 years, the 2 times. So that is what they will come back to tell you again when they're campaigning for the second time and say, look, we have started this program. We've not been able to complete it. Give us the chance to really actualize what we have started. So this is what you see, and this is what is going to happen. So it is not just about 4 years program.
Joe, tell us, does it look like we have an economic framework from the perspective of this government? Do we?
You see, just like in Lagos State, you know, far back as when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was there, they have a program, you know, designed for maybe 25 years. And then you see, when you have this economic program and you are following these programs, Fashola came in there, he did his own bit of 8 years, Ambode is doing his own bit, and this will continue. I think we need to have a long-term economic programs. And you see, if you have it, it's not as if you have this theory. It's good to have it on paper, but the point is, how do you execute the programs? A lot of us, look at what we have, Millennium Development Goals. I mean, now, are we hearing anything about that? Money spent on that? Nobody's talking about about MDG goals or any MDG thing.
MDG is even gone, SDGs,
So
yeah.
now you're talking about SDG. Have you reviewed what happened in MDG? So what is SDG now? So what is really happening? So a lot of these things are just come in, do it, whether it's good or bad, no review. And
But is it clear the economic path the Buhari government wants to follow?
Right.
Is it clear?
No, you see,
Do you have a clarity in the economic
the clarity
policy?
is coming now. Before, at the earlier stage, within the last few months, the first 1 year, one cannot see the clarity. Because
Right now?
Before. But right now, it seems they are settling down. This is going to the...
Joe, just a moment. We'll go on this short break, and when we come back, we get other thoughts on some of what people have said. Former President Obasanjo, former head of state Gowon, the Minister of Finance, on some of this issue, and we'll see just if there is light at the end of the tunnel for us as a people. Join us again.